I'm Pearl John, and I'm so very blessed to know that you join me week after week to explore the glorious message from His Word. In our ongoing journey through the book of Genesis, we now stand at a pivotal point, the covenant God establishes with Abraham. The covenant marks a significant moment in God's redemptive plan, revealing His unwavering commitment to humanity. As we delve into this profound narrative, we will explore three key aspects: the call and promise, the circumcision of the heart, and a multitude of nations. And through these themes, we will uncover not only the historical significance but also the spiritual depth of God's covenant with Abraham, drawing parallels to our own lives and faith journeys. The call and promise. The story of God's covenant with Abraham begins with a divine call and an astounding promise, one that shapes Abraham's life and the destiny of his descendants. And the call essentially has three components: a call to leave. In Genesis 12:1, we find God calling out Abraham to leave his country, family, and father's house, to journey into the unknown. This call of faith requires obedience and trust in God's guidance. The promise of blessing. Along with the call comes an incredible promise, and it says, "I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great," in Genesis 12:2. And God's promise extends beyond Abraham's personal prosperity. It includes a future legacy, an heir beyond expectation. Despite Abraham and Sarah's advanced age, God assures them of a son who will be the beginning of the fulfillment of His promise in Genesis 15:5. And God leads Abraham outside and says, "Look toward heaven and number the stars, if you are able to. Number them, so shall your offspring be." And that's the power of God at work. Secondly, the circumcision of the heart. As the covenant with Abraham progresses, God institutes a unique sign, the circumcision of every male. This outward act carries a profound spiritual message. The sign of commitment. God instructs Abraham to circumcise every male in his household as a sign of the covenant in Genesis 17:10 and 11. And this act of obedience signifies a commitment to God's covenant and a separation from the world. Circumcision of the heart. While the physical act is significant, God desires more, a circumcision of the heart. And Deuteronomy 36 explains, "And the Lord your God will circumcise your heart and the heart of your offspring, so that you will love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul." So it's not just an external manifestation, but an internal transformation that we are called to. And thirdly, the spiritual transformation. Circumcision of the heart signifies an internal transformation, a turning away from sin, and a deeper alignment with God's purposes. It emphasizes the need for a transformed inner life that reflects our commitment to God's covenant. And finally, a multitude of nations. God's covenant with Abraham carries a promise of descendants as numerous as the stars. And this promise extends beyond physical lineage, offering spiritual significance. One, the fulfillment of promise. In Genesis 17:4-6, we get to see God affirming His covenant, declaring that Abraham will be the father of a multitude of nations. And this promise extends beyond a single nation, foreshadowing the global impact of Abraham's descendants. Secondly, the spiritual inheritance. The promise of countless descendants finds fulfillment not only in the physical lineage but also the spiritual lineage. Romans 4:13 reveals that Abraham's descendants are not only those from his bloodline but also those who share his faith. And thirdly, inclusive salvation. The multitude of nations refers God's heart for all people. Galatians 3:28-29 proclaims, "There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither slave nor free, there is no male or female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus." And if you are Christ, then you are Abraham's offspring, heirs according to the promise. The covenant with Abraham stands as a beacon of hope, revealing God's faithfulness, his desire for a transformed heart, and his inclusive plan for salvation. Just as Abraham responded to the call, embraced the promise, and marked the covenant, we too are invited to respond to God's call of faith, embrace his promise, and allow him to circumcise our hearts for his purposes. May the narrative of God's covenant with Abraham not only inspire us, but also remind us of our own place in God's grand plan. As we journey through life, may we respond to God's call with obedience, hold fast to his promises with unswerving faith, and continually allow him to transform our hearts for his glory. This is Pearl John signing off the Other 167. Thank you for watching the Other 167. Look forward to seeing you the next week where we continue this series. God bless you.